Yep, it's that time again where I said it before. I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it, keep saying it, keep saying. Senga, like now there are stories from the Athletic. I mean Atlantic News. Sorry, Atlantic News. Well, actually, hold on. Is it Athletic or Atlantic News? I'm sorry. Let me check very quickly. The Athletic saying that the Mets are possibly considering of moving Senga down to the minors. Problem is in Senga's contract, he has final say of yay or nay if he goes down to the minors. Manea still trying to work stuff out as well too. He's not going to go to the minors as well too. I mean, the fact of the amount of money they're paying him as well too. Senga is the biggest issue basically. He can't get past an inning practically now. Manea at least can get past 2 to 3 innings. So maybe throw him back and throw him in the bullpen. Put Senga down to the minors and bring Sprout up. If you bring Sprout up, we'll see how he does. I mean, quite honestly, they're thinking of like, oh, you know what? Let's Senga have some rest and let not Tong, let McLean pitch from that point, or yeah, let McLean pitch instead of Senga. I mean, on a normal rotational aspect of things, because the fact is the Mets are going to have an off day tomorrow when they play against the Reds. It like basically they're thinking of like letting McLean, because he'll have at least 6 days of rest or 5 days of rest. He'll be able to pitch on Saturday, the final game against the Reds at that point. But the real question is this, and like let's say they have go into the thing. But the real question is this: is like doesn't really matter. Senga he's had so much time off, it doesn't matter. I think it's more of a case where like now you have no choice but to basically let him go. You have to like literally let him just go bye bye into the minors and like let him recoup so he comes back next year stronger and better with McLean at that point, and Manea hopefully if he recovers at this not recovers but gains his form again. But it's a situation right now. Holmes, you're seeing what happened. Not enough pitching for him from that perspective, and their bullpen almost tired out a little bit. And the fact of the matter is, the offense didn't click in. Defense wins games for him. I mean, defense keeps you in it basically. And like in this situation, they had no defense. I mean, if there was defense, it would have been a 2-2 game possibly, and that would have changed the Mets' mentality a little bit to the point like instead of trying to go for homers, let's try to hit some singles and get some bases, get bases on ball basically. Unless they're scoring over 7 runs, the Mets are not winning these games, and we're seeing it now time and time again. If they can't keep an opponent under 4 runs, and the Mets can't score 6 runs at least, or 7 most in this situation, they're not going to win. And we're seeing it. So I hate to say this, but like Senga's got to go to the minors. And if he's refusing, I hate to say this, but maybe DFA him. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, it was 3 years ago or 2 years ago. He was rookie of the year. He went to the All Star game. Last year, he was doing really well. And then earlier in the season as well, too, he was doing really well for us until the injury. But it looks like whatever happens is every time he gets an injury, he always has issues after that, right after that. So, quite honestly, I think it's more time, basically, to the point of like, it's time to bring him to the minors, convince them that it's best for him. Or two, say you're on the injured list because he's going to say, I'm not injured, but like reality is, make up some excuse to get him on the injury list because reality is like he's a detriment to the team at this point. And you don't want to release him just yet because next year he's going to do really well. Similar to Manea, send him to the bullpen basically. Senga's not going to go to the bullpen. I mean, it'd be good if he could go to the bullpen, but the problem is you're not going to get more than 1 inning anyways. I don't know. So you might be a setup man, but reality is like that's not even going to work because he can't come into high pressure situations. So just put him in the minors, let him figure out what he's got to do. Manea at least can't come into high pressure situations, so let him come in as a reliever, specifically when you make your playoff push or when you're in the playoff. He'll be good in that reliever role. McLean is becoming the dominant number one starter at this point. Tong, we'll see what happens against the Reds, how he fares well against them. If he does well, then you got your 1-2 punch right there. And if they were able to bring Sprout, if they were able to bring up Sprout, you got your number 3 starter right there as well too. And like 1, 2, 3 right there, you got your 1, 2, 3 punch, and that should be enough at that point because you have those 3 dominant pitchers. They should get you far, which is what we've seen with the 2015 Mets. Let's not forget, with the 2015 Mets, you had Harvey, you had DeGrom, you had Syndergaard, you had Wheeler. Those 4 alone with Mats, they have propelled them at that point. Quite honestly, their offense just didn't do really well. But let's be honest, this offense is definitely way better than the 2015 Mets. But the fact of the matter is like Soto can change a game like that very quickly. It would be great if he could, bring in more RBIs, but a homer is a homer, right? Similarly, Lindor and Lonzo, if they can both hit homers, fine. If you can get 3 runs from them, in a game, every game from them, then you know what? That might help out and keep the Mets within the, in arm's reach of, winning the game at that point. Now, with the fact of the matter is with Peterson, I don't know what you do with him, basically. I mean, maybe it's a hit or miss nowadays with him, basically. I don't know why, but it seems like it's a hit or miss. Holmes, I hate to say this, but like I think he's probably tired out. You've got to probably work him off a little and like maybe strengthen him and make him work to becoming a starter. Honestly, regain a starter form at that point. I mean, and early in the season he kept him in there, but that's what it is basically. Give me 1 second. I got to pause. I'm gonna get a call. Apologies on that. I got a call from a recruiter and like it was really funny. I'm working right now, and the guy I other recruiters called me earlier. I'll tell a little side story basically. Another earlier recruiters called me for the same position, and they were offering much more for a contract role. This guy was like short selling me by literally by like 70% of what the actual maximum budget is, and I know what the maximum budget is based on other people were telling me. And this guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, we can only give you this much. So an example, like basically, it's not the actual number, but like let's say the client, this guy was trying to offer me $25 an hour, but we know that the actual budget is $80 an hour. Okay, like again, not actual numbers. Basically, the guy's like saying instead of 80, he's offering you at least 50. No, actually, if it's 80, then it would be actually $20 an hour. He was trying to offer you $20 an hour for an $80 an hour job, basically. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. And I asked him what the budget is. He said $20. I'm like, baloney. Yeah. And the worst part about it, the best part about it, not the worst part, the best part about it was one of his other colleagues from the same company earlier called today and was the one that gave me that $80 an hour type of thing, basically. Again, example, not the actual. If it was $80, like, hey, that's great, pretty good. But anyways, and it was one of those things where the dude basically lied. I caught him in the guard, and these were all Indians. That's the sad part of it. These are Indians. And they're like, oh, well, no. I'm like, nah, don't try to lie to me. I mean, come on, dude. Like, don't play me as I don't know what my budget is. Like, I know what your budget is. Please don't try to make me a fool, basically. I know what you're trying to do. If you're going to do this, I could circumvent you and find the client and just you're like, say, yeah, I send me an RTR, right to represent. I find out your client him, and I'll go directly to the client. I'll offer a much better value, and screw you guys over completely at that point because I know what that problem is. But in any case, sorry about that. It's irking me off to the point where, like, this is what's happening with the Mets. That's the sad part about with the Mets, unfortunately, with the pitching staff. Basically, like we overpaid for Manaea, which is, let's be honest, it's true. We did overpay for Manaea. He's not going to opt out. You think he was just going to opt out, but he's not opting out. Senga's going to probably try to opt out, but he's not going to opt out because it's one of those things where they know their worth is nothing at this point. So, two things they got. Alonso will definitely opt out for sure. Alonso's definitely opting out. The question is, will the Mets re-sign him, or will they be able to re-sign him? We'll find. Only time will tell at that point. If the Mets fall short considerably, maybe they don't re-sign him. I have a feeling they're not going to re-sign him. The problem is with Senga, he's got to go to the minors or go on the IL, move Manaea to the bullpen, bring up Sprout. When Miguel comes on board, then you move Holmes to the bullpen, and Miguel becomes your fifth starter. Peterson is just your rotational guy basically, and hopefully Miguel and Peterson gives you those inning eaters. There'll be inning eaters at that point, and to the point like you give your bullpen a rest at that point. But I don't know. Only time will tell. Let me know your thoughts with that. Basically, I do read my comments. I do respond to them all. Respond to them all when they warrant a response. You're welcome to hit the like button if you like this content and this video for that matter. If you like my content that is on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. With that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, of course, always unrehearsed. Until next time.